Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the nation you're on, time zone and whatnot. Gonna have a good show today. Have you guys been watching the news? All right. Listen, the fact that we're having this conversation of the Houthi attack plan being sent to a journalist is absurd. While that's not the main story today, I have other stories. All right. A lot of this stuff is coming through slowly. We like to call it propaganda, but it is what it is, right? Hold on. Sorry. It is what it is. So there shouldn't be any confusion as to why these articles are being put out. All right. Now, before we get started, please feel free to donate to the Daily Rabbit Hole. Follow us on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Telegram. I'm on YouTube and Rumble and Spotify. All right. This show will be uploaded after it's done. Clean it up, wham bam, put it out there. All right. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's get this show started. Now, I gotta do my check. Gotta do my check. Gotta do my check. Gotta do my check. We look live. We look live. Right? Whatever. I'm sure you guys can hear me. Shouldn't be a problem right now. So let's figure this out and let's get from there. All right. We're good to go. All right. Bam. First topic. I did a video yesterday on it because it was absolutely absurd for them saying this. And I had just covered this topic like the day before on the Rabbit Hole Report. State lawmakers are looking to ban non-existent chemtrails. It could have real life side effects. All right. So the conversation right now is that Florida is one of the states that has a legislative ban on chemtrails or spraying aerosols in the sky. However you want to word that, right? Okay. So not just them, but it's like 15 to 20 states in America. You guys need to look into this. This is real news. If it's not real, for CNN to put this out and say it's not real is comical. Because if it wasn't, why are there states banning it? How is that possible? That this is very similar to 1995 with Clinton when he was like, "We're going to ban cloning," and everyone was like, "We can clone people?" It was a shock. I was 10 years old when I saw this briefing, like the presidential briefing for the day or whatever, when he came on and he announced it. And he was like, we're we're passing this legislative or this policy to ban cloning. And 30 years later, clearly no one banned cloning, or they banned it from a commercial standpoint, but it was still used for the government. Okay. Now think about what I just said. No commercial use, but government use. Okay. Now this is the same thing with chemtrails. All right. Let's get into this. I'm gonna read through a little bit. We're gonna chop it up a little bit more. It says an unsubstantiated conspiracy theory that claims the U.S. government is controlling the weather or its citizens by spraying dangerous chemtrails from airplanes has now made its way to several state legislators where it could manifest into real life laws. Now, listen to the words in there. It says controlling the weather or its citizens. How could they be controlling the weather and its citizens from spraying stuff in the sky? These are critical questions based on, if you have real comprehension skills, I swear to you, chemtrails. It's an example of how unproven and off the wall theories are bubbling into mainstream discourse under the Trump administration, many of which sow distrust in the government. That trust was already gone a long time ago. This effort is in particular could prevent actual scientists and engineers from slowing the breakneck pace of global warming, which is inflicting a devastating toll on Americas in the form of extreme weather. Florida legislature is moving along a bill that would ban geoengineering, SB 56, we talked about that, and weather modification in the state. And an Alabama legislative committee discussed a similar bill last week. Hey! Y'all can say what you want about Meemaw in Alabama, but I don't care. She might be a lot of things, but damn it, she pays attention. Okay. And if you wonder who I'm saying Meemaw, it's the oldest governor in America, Governor Kay Ivey of the state of Alabama. All right. And I'm telling you now, a lot of people don't like Meemaw. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people in the state think Meemaw is a KKK member, or she's racist, or she doesn't care about anything. Here's what I'm saying. A lot of that stuff might be true. I don't know. I can't prove it. She's built a super prison in Alabama. This is a big boy prison, Governor K. Ivey State federal prison. I think it's federal. I don't think it's state. But it was based on a contract with private securities or private prisons. Okay. So she's gotten a lot of slack for that, including the VA incident where the guy ended up getting pushed out, and now K. Ivey has control of the VA in Alabama, or something very similar to that. Now, if this is fake, right? Why is CNN picking it up? Wouldn't CNN be too big to try to push this narrative? If it doesn't exist, why are we talking about it? If I look up in the sky, if I put these headphones right now, put them down, and I go outside and I see planes streaking the sky, I'm gonna assume it's chemtrails. It only takes a couple minutes to figure out what it is. Contrails disappear. Chemtrails turn into, looks like dust, thin, dusty clouds in the sky. All right. I've said this in numerous shows a lot of times where I've come outside in the morning and there is this weird film all over my car. All right. It didn't rain. It wasn't fogging or anything like that. Just a weird film on my car. I'm not sure where it came from. I know pollen is yellow, so I wouldn't assume that it was pollen. But apparently, chemtrails are so fake that states have to ban them. How does that sound to you? How does that make you feel? Like, we talked night before last about weather patents. I literally pulled up patents for dues and other various instruments of war or weapons or manipulation to show you that they exist. We went through weather patents. We talked about HARP. We talked about heating up the ionosphere in numerous shows that I've done. So the fact that they got to put this out is like a soft disclosure, because if so many states are pushing legislation against chemtrails, they clearly exist, because they're the ones who know what's going through their state. That's from the common person looking at it. I'm not like in the wherewithal, and I ain't sitting here talking about I got intelligence and got these analysts. Y'all be dope fiends for interviews and analysts. I'm gonna start doing those, right? Because y'all take what they say as if it's Jesus in the Bible, and a lot of times that's propaganda also. That's still the same thing. All right, let's finish this article. Though debunked many times over the years, horseshit, chemtrail believers say that white condensation left behind by airplanes in the sky are filled by toxic chemicals. Do you see how they played that? What did I just say? Contrails disappear. Okay. You see how they played that? This is, I guess you call it double speech, where you say one thing, but you're really talking about another. I'm going to read it again. Chemtrail believers say white condensation lines left behind by airplanes in the sky are filled with toxic chemicals, but the theory has manifested itself in a resurgence over the controversy around scientists' efforts for weather modification and geoengineering. Excuse me. Now, remember, what was that, last year, 2 years ago, when I think it's either Dubai or Saudi Arabia, one of them, end up flooding out their whole country because they cloud seeded wrong, and put the press article out, and America came behind them and was like, cloud seeding's fake. They came back behind America and said, no, it's not. We've been cloud seeding for years. And it was like, oh, you still haven't told them, have you? Oh. I feel like that's how it played out. Like they called, probably MBS, and they called him and I was like, hey, I need you to stop telling people we're cloud seeding. He was like, but I live in the desert and we don't get rain. So how else are we going to get it? And they're like, shut up, shut up. Listen, our people, they already don't trust us. They don't believe it. Click. Listen to this, guys. All right. An example how unproven and off the wall theories are bubbling into mainstream discourse under the Trump administration. Many of, oh, sorry, I read that one already. Where was that? Sorry. And for those and those who believe in conspiracy now have a platform for the head of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. He's talking about RFK Jr. All right. So they're really trying to make it seem like chemtrails aren't real. And you want to understand why they're saying this is because we as Americans have blamed numerous weather anomalies on them. And if you're smart or you have good comprehension skills, maybe you aren't smart. Maybe you just have really good common sense. I don't want to seem like it takes rocket science to figure out what's going on because it really doesn't. It doesn't take rocket science, right? So think about this. Think about it, think about it, think about it. If there are patents and they are blaming weather anomalies on things like frequency manipulation, ionosphere manipulation, chemtrails, 5G frequency attack, like within the area where the storm is moving. Say you want to try to get the storm to move. Well, there's allegedly ways to do that. Again, the patents are there. We're not going to touch on those today, but I wanted to get this article out again, give it a little bit more press run so you guys could see it. Right? I did the video. People look at the video, and I'm sure Facebook blocked it because TikTok banned me as soon as I uploaded it. Then I had to appeal it. So much for freedom of speech in the people's app, right? TikTok. It's a psyop. Pretty convinced that that's part of what we were talking about in the previous show, also. All right. Now we're going to move along. HARP, weather, CNN said it was fake, equals propaganda. All right. That was propaganda. Next story. Now, U.S. military has secretly moved 300 billion of gold, 350 billion of gold from Fort Knox. Claim. This is from news.com, independent outlet, right? Or semi-independent. In a bizarre and ironic plot twist straight out of James Bond movie, a government insider claimed the gold in Fort Knox had been secretly moved out to protect it. News.com can reveal. The whistleblower said most of it has been transferred to secret locations by the military. Billions of dollars in gold is hidden in plain sight. Only a few place Pentagon officials know about it. Okay. Now, I want you to think about something. You guys know when we got off the gold standard was like 1971 under the Nixon administration, right? And a lot of things came out of that Nixon administration. The church committee hearings, Mockingbird, so many operations and incidents that went on, right? Okay, now the Fort Knox Gold Vault, which is in Kentucky, outside of a little town called Radcliffe. And how would I know about the little town? Because I used to live there. Crazy, right? So my mom was former military, little information on me. My mom was ex-Army. All right. So we lived in Radcliffe, Kentucky, off and on outside of Fort Knox base. Okay. So a lot of times, you know, when we go into Louisville, you got to go through Fort Knox. And a lot of the kids who lived in Fort Knox sometimes went to school in the Radcliffe, Hardin County area. All right. So Fort Knox has been sitting there and has been known as the gold reserve for America since its inception. All right. Everyone has always assumed that it's holding the gold and that's where all the gold is at. But with Doge and Donald Trump, investigating everything, it's found out now, quote unquote, that there's no gold in there, which is something they've been saying the last 30 years that there's no gold in there. I think it's going back further than 30 years, and I'm gonna tell you why. The last reported sighting of gold in the Fort Knox gold vault was 1974. And I have that video from YouTube. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna play it and you make the decision. I'm gonna leave it up to you, all right? But the last reported sighting of the gold was 1974 when they did that little, I guess, a little mini documentary. So now, 2025, we're all wondering, well, where's the gold since we're not on the gold standard? We haven't been on the gold standard 40 plus years now, almost 50. Okay. So think about this. We know New York has gold reserves, and that's proven. There's videos out, they talk about it. Wall Street's there. Financial market for America is in New York. So why wouldn't the gold possibly be in New York? I've seen videos sitting there of gold stacked like 4 feet, 3 feet high, big bars. Like I'm not like a specialist in this. I've just seen it. Right. So if if Trump and Elon are auditing Fort Knox right now, which its last audit was 1953, again, that's 70 years. How do you know the gold's there? What would make you think the gold is still there? If we haven't been on the gold standard and we know New York, Wall Street are financial districts, wouldn't you put the gold in a place where all the financial matters are happening, where they're trading and all that? And it makes sense to me. Now I could be wrong. Now they could be hiding this gold anywhere. All right. And like the report says, secret locations within America. Now, is it Richie Rich and they're hiding the gold inside of Mount Rushmore? Predictive programming. Listen, you think Mount Rushmore is just Mount Rushmore? Nah, man, there might be something inside of that. That's not how the deep state works, guys. If they did something, there's something inside of it. If they dig or they excavate or whatever, there's something there. All right. I just find it funny that in the movie Richie Rich, they were holding their money in like what was equivalent of Mount Rushmore, right? So in this article, they're stating, hey, it's in different locations. All right. Let's finish this article out. President Donald Trump and the Department of Government Efficiency honcho Elon Musk have both questioned whether the heavily guarded Kentucky Army installation still houses the bulk of the nation's gold reserves. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold, the commander in chief said. Despite the Treasury Department's assurance that 147.3 million ounces of gold were reported in Fort Knox as of January 31st, 2025. All right. So it's there, allegedly. That said, the United States Bullion Depository behind the fortified walls of Fort Knox has not been seen by civilian eyes since 2017, when former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin led a delegation that toured the facility 33 years after previous visit. 33 years after previous visit. Why does the number 33 matter? Because it's a symbol. It's the highest degree, allegedly, in mainstream Freemasonry. They say there's more levels, but the number 33 is very significant within gematria and anything that you can think of that ties into something. I know you guys like numbers. Guys be out here like, yeah, 33. And it's a dead giveaway. Prime example. The plane crash in DC, the helicopter left ramp, what is it, 33? There was a lot of questions circulating that. I'm not going to say it's true. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm just going to say there was a lot of speculation regarding it. All right, now let's get into this video. It's old, it's extra old. Bear with me. All right, but it's an older video. Here you go. Head off mute. Check. Because I can't hear it in my phone. I had to check it and there was no sound coming out. So if there was no sound coming out, I absolutely apologize, guys. I have no idea what's going on right now, but it definitely should be playing and it's not. All right. So give me a second while I check this because I can definitely. Guys need to look into right. This. It's working. I've said this whether my if so. Right, and the sound stops. Plane crash in DC. Oh, you tricky niggas, you. Excuse my language. Okay. So give me a second, guys. Let me troubleshoot this real quick because it's not playing. And I'm not entirely sure why. And I'm glad I caught it. Very much so glad I caught that. Because it's playing in my headset, but I can't hear it playing out for y'all. And I peeped that out because again, I take those breaks to check. So my sound is working, but my sound to the video is not working for some reason, which I can hear it, but it's refusing to play through. Let's try this again. All right. Give me a second. And try this one more time. If it doesn't play, then F it. We'll carry on with the show. But I really wanted to get this video. Because I can't hear it in my phone. I had to check it and there was no sound. Yeah. So yeah, my sound works. Something's wrong with the playback, which makes no sense. All right, give me a second. Hold It's not working. We're gonna scrap it. Look, F it. Listen, the whole point of this video was to show that in 1974 they did a little walk and meet and greet within the Fort Knox. They had different governors, press from different outlets come in and discuss what was in the gold vault. They show what was in the gold vault, right? So they did that. It went from there, and then since then, no one has actually been inside the gold
It's
vault
not working. We're gonna
since then.
scrap it. Look,
Sorry,
F.
sorry about that. Stuff happens, guys. Bear with me, all right? But basically, the gold vault, they said they showed the gold, everyone took pictures, and then since then it was hush hush. No one said anything anymore because no one really had anything to say. They had seen the gold and it was good to go, right? Nothing to worry about. So the big thing that I wanna touch on is this. The gold is somewhere. Where the gold is at, we don't really know. I say it's in New York. It could be scattered across America. Still, where is it? And that's the $1 million question. All right. We're gonna move on to the next report. You guys want to assume that it's just a technical difficulty, sure, but every other time I do this, there's no problems. So I'm not really sure what exactly was going on, but that's all right. No, that is not. So the next article is about them finding the Ark of the Covenant. Let me find it again because I had it. Yep, trying to have stuff from me. I had it up. All right. Next article. Secret CIA files claim Ark of the Covenant has been found. So they found it a while ago. But if you understand what the Ark of the Covenant is, or you're Christian, whatever, and you read the Bible, you understand what the Ark of the Covenant was part of, I want to say, the Ten Commandments, and it had an unlimited power source that literally traveled around the world. Like, not sure how true that is. Location of which has been the CIA documents claim the Ark of the Covenant has been found. They found it, allegedly. According to the Bible, the Ark of the Covenant was built by the Israelites shortly after they fled Egypt around the 13th century BC. Moses then placed the Ten Commandments inside. The CIA conducted experiments in the 1980s with individuals who claimed they could receive information about different objects. This is called remote viewing. All right, I've talked about that also. Again, there are people who can remote view into time, into points, and tell you what was going on. That is real. It is in the CIA. So when we have these conversations about strange anomalies, it's be weird. Viewing is a thing. Okay? The report details one of these tests where remote viewer number 32 was given coordinates to locate a target, and they described the Ark of the Covenant hiding in the nebulous. Some historians believe the Ark of the Covenant was originally kept inside the Holy of Holies, the innermost chamber of the ancient Temple of Jerusalem, before it disappeared during the Babylonian sack of Jerusalem, 586 BC. All right. So again, why am I covering this? Because these are soft disclosures. They have to tell you something. If you guys really, you guys gotta take what you say and run with it. You can't say this stuff and then not believe it. And then for the people who say, well, Almighty Jesus, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, all this stuff happened. and then the information come out and you reject it, you're no better. You're not helping. Like there should be a point where this information and yourself meet in the middle to find a middle ground to understand how this is all. There's also alleged that the artifact was taken in Ethiopia and now resides in the church. Evidence that the chest existed has yet to be found, but the CIA documents declassified in 2000 claimed it was discovered in 1988. Be horseshit. The remote viewing thing is real. I've seen those documents on the CIA archive. The remote viewing is real. Now, whether they found it or not entirely true, because if they did find it, they would have found it in a church, Ethiopia. While they still say it's still there, there's no real proof other than the people who were there and the people who have it. And if they do have it, I got a good feeling it's probably at the Vatican. I just had to take a guess. That's just me. Just saying. So, is the Ark of the Covenant real? Christians, Catholics say it is. CIA said it is. I've never seen it, and I don't know how they would use it. Like, I don't know if it has any lore to it or any function other than holding the Ten Commandments. I've heard the energy output that it puts off is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's an unlimited source of energy inside. Like, you've seen Indiana Jones. He was looking for the Ark of the Covenant. I think that's the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they found the Ark of the Covenant, and it's like if you open it, the light came out, and it's turned you like to dust or something, or you just disappeared. Listen, Ark of the Covenant has been out for a minute, and when I say a minute, since 586 BC, it's been in history. Now, Indiana Jones in that movie, again, predictive programming or soft disclosure, whatever you want to take it as. But this right here is soft disclosure. They're admitting in so many words, it's real. Double speak, as you all call it. I'm learning new terms. Double speak. You can say one thing and you mean another, just like why are you banning something that doesn't exist? Clearly, someone has figured it out that it exists. And you can go look up the patents and find out if it exists. So therefore, there's something there too. Operation Popeye is real. They made it rain during the Vietnam War to keep like the monks inside because they didn't protest when it rained. So they made it rain. Operation Popeye. Take it how you want to. Finish this out. So the target is a container. This container has another container inside of it. The document states the target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver, and it is decorated with a six-winged angel. The remote viewer continued to say that the coffin-shaped object is located somewhere in the Middle East and saw people in the area speaking Arabic. The remote viewer has not told that they were searching for the lost covenant before the experiment began. All right, and this is one of the documents probably more likely pulled off the CIA archive site. All right, and this is just showing you that little memo that the remote viewer accessed it. Okay? According to biblical history, the sacred gold-covered wooden chest was constructed sometime around 1445 BC. The Ten Commandments are a list of directives given to Moses by God, including rules such as "Thou shalt not kill" and "Honor thy mother and father." Some historians believe the ark remained inside the ancient temple of Jerusalem for centuries. During this time, only the high priest of the Israelites could see it. Even he was even he was only allowed near it on Judaism's holiest holiday, Yom Kippur. And then it vanished, right? This CIA document, a remnant of the mysterious Project Sunstreak, suggests the U.S. government has known where the ark is for years. Project Sunstreak, you should go look that up. Might get into that tonight and just kind of dig into that, see where it goes, right? In the 1970s and 80s, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, and several other intelligence agencies, including the CIA, employed individuals alleged to have paranormal capabilities as means of acquiring intelligence about distant events. Project Sunstreak use psychics known as remote viewers to gather intelligence on targets using only coordinates. Remote viewers were supposedly able to protect their consciousness beyond the body to observe far-off locations. All right. And this is Indiana Jones, one of those movie clips or whatever. So this is what it looked like in the movie, right? This is what they say was traveling all around the world. It's the Ark of the Covenant. So this is the approved release of the CIA document about the remote viewer, December 5th, 1988. And this is where they talk about looking at the container and seeing it. Now, I'm going to read something on here to you. I want you to see this, okay? Here we go. All right, it says the target was protected by entities. It can only be opened by those who were authorized to do so. This container cannot be opened until the time is being correct. Once it is time to open the container, the mechanics of the lock system will be found to be fairly simple. Individuals opening the container by prying or striking are destroyed by the container's protection. This is where Indiana Jones, you're putting it together. Are you understanding? All right. Now, the Ark of the Covenant allegedly has been found, like I said, and they have it. Do you believe it? Mm. So, understand with these stories like this, you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's a soft disclosure, yes, but can I prove it? Not without going in somewhere and getting arrested for trying to find the Ark of the Covenant. So all I'm saying is this: take this with a grain of salt. Look into Project Sunstreak and find out for yourself. Anyone who's seen Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, go back and watch it. That was Indiana Jones's whole thing. He worked for the colleges. He's like a his say a historian, but he would go find relics and bring them back to the colleges. In hindsight, it kind of just seems like he was stealing. Just me. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, there was a Nazi influence in that movie because if you go back to World War II, allegedly in one of their conspiracies, that's what he was looking for when he was going all over the place, looking on his campaign. And they say he was looking for the Ark of the Covenant. Others say he was just looking for Jews. Listen, I wasn't there. I wasn't alive. I go by the information given. All I'm saying is take it with a grain of salt. But we've heard the stories. We know where it's coming from. There was a hint of this somewhere, right? Let's say he was looking for the Ark of the Covenant, unlimited power source. What would he do with it? Would it be the same thing that we're looking to do with it? Like, what are we doing with it? Because, like we've talked about many, many times, we say they have technology and they use it against us. We say don't trust everything you see with them or don't believe everything you hear. So if they have something this powerful, along with many other artifacts in time, be it the Smithsonian, the Vatican, and all these other little proxy groups inside the deep state, then what's to say that they may have the actual Ark of the Covenant? I don't know, guys. It's a dope story. It's cool, but it's a soft disclosure too. This is just like this is just like them saying the pyramids are a power source and there's a city under. They've known that for some time. Think about it. They've told us for some time. They purposely told us that they were tombs. They were holding bodies. But now, 20, 30 years later, after the Department of Education is being dismantled, now they want to come out and say, well, the pyramids have a city under it. Could be a power source. Soft disclosure. There are things that are going to change that we're going to learn via our Department of Education or wherever the hell he's about to turn it into. It's going to be something very different. So maybe they're trying to get ahead of the information. That's my opinion. That's why they do self disclosures. That's my opinion. Next story. All right. Now, the story is from yesterday, and this was a hot topic yesterday all over the media. White House inadvertently texts top secret Yemen war plans to journalists. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'm gonna tell you why. Everything's encrypted. You got to be a stupid person to. You have to be really stupid to text a war plan, allegedly top secret war plan, to a journalist unsuspectingly. And understand whether it was Pete Hegseth or Trump, or one of the analysts, or one of the the secondary junior officials on the staff, it does not matter. The fact that you are sending war information that's supposed to be quote unquote top secret seems like espionage. It seems like you put that out there on purpose, and then you're going to go with another one. Like you want to get it all out. You want to make a distraction with the fact that you were so incompetent that you put a war plan, top secret war plan, classified in a Signal app to share amongst each other. Look, listen, stop propaganda. Stop believing propaganda. This is literally what propaganda is. Stop believing it, guys. This is more or less tell them one thing, we're going to do another. For God's sakes, he is not that negligent. They cannot be that negligent. That's a level of negligence with encrypted lines, encrypted everything. You know, everything you got to do is it has to be encrypted and safe. You're sending classified documents on a Signal app. You're no better than the Air Force guy who put the documents out. You're no better than Eric Snowden now. Like how, how, Sway? Make it make sense. Okay. So what I'm saying is this: don't buy that. That was a distraction, in my honest opinion. He sent it to a journalist. Let me scroll down. Let's go ahead and get into this article. Let's just go ahead and tap in. All right. Senior members of Donald Trump's cabinet have been involved in a serious security breach while discussing secret military plans for recent attacks on the Houthi armed group in Yemen. In an extraordinary blunder, key figures in the Trump administration, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Secretary of State Mark Rubio, and the Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, used the commercial chat app Signal to convene and discuss plans, while also including a prominent journalist in the group. That shit's on purpose, guys. Come on. First of all, why are our directors of intelligence and secretaries using Signal? Y'all ain't got no encrypted chat line. So y'all in the government, y'all over here running the government on WhatsApp, basically. Come on, guys, people. This is a distraction. This is a real distraction. This this ain't it. You got to be stupid. And if they are that stupid, y'all fucked up and put them in office. I don't want to hear it. Y'all thought voting was going to change this shit. It's not. They're still incompetent. It's a bunch of old people playing with technology. Ain't got no business playing with it. They're too old to be playing with Signal. You're the president. You're the secretary of defense. You're out here talking amongst yourselves. You can't text message in a group on your phone, encrypted phone. You couldn't do that on an encrypted phone. We know the phones are encrypted. The emails are encrypted. You decide to use Signal. Slap yourself. Slap yourself, sir. Bam. All of them. Slap yourself. If you think this is real press, this is propaganda, this is a distraction. I'm telling you, there ain't no way in hell. Like they know what you're downloading on your phone. Like, you mean to tell me when he's like, we're going to use chat, Signal chat to discuss our war plans? Hell, man. The news was met with outrage and calls for an investigation in the U.S. Senator Minority Leader Chuck Schumer calling him one of the most stunning preachers of military intelligence I've read and read about in a very, very long time. Uh, he's sugarcoating that. He's read worse. Signal is not approved by the U.S. government for sharing sensitive information. They're being made to look incompetent while they handle real business in the real world. Like I want you to understand, this is literally propaganda. Now, Pete Hegseth denied it. He said, "Why would you believe someone who's known for spreading misinformation?" We've had this conversation about the Smith Modernization Act of 2012. You have entities and you have domestic entities in your press writing narratives, pushing different ideas. This is no different. If they really did use Signal, gotta help America, guys. It's you might as well just left Biden in office. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm saying if they're that incompetent, scrap the whole damn government. Like I said, stop. Stop. Others in the chat included Trump advisor Stephen Miller, Trump's chief of staff Susie Wiles, and the key Trump envoy Steve Witkoff. The breach was revealed in an article published on Monday by Jeffrey Goldman, the editor of the Atlantic magazine, who discovered that he had been included in the signal chat called Houthi PC Small Group, and realizing that 18 members of the group included Trump's cabinet members. In his account, Goldberg said that he removed sensitive material from his account, including the identity of CIA officer and corrupt current operational details. The report was confirmed by Brian Hughes, a spokesperson for the National Security Council, who told the magazine, "This appears to be an authentic message chain, and we are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain." So you don't put names in the numbers. You know how you add contacts? You didn't put the name in there, or you just trying to be secret? If you were trying to be secret, then why the hell would you use sick? Use your comprehension skills, people. Distraction. They did that on purpose. That's a misdirection play. Listen, we've talked about the news being controlled, opposition for a long time. Sure, Jeffrey Goldberg is outside entity from the government, but I'm sure he has White House credentials. I'm sure he goes in. I'm sure if you want to get in contact with a media professional, you have his name saved in the phone or the person's name saved in the phone. So you mean to tell me our quote unquote supposedly elected officials, although we know how that goes, are here in Signal discussing who the war plans and added a journalist in a Pete Hegseth was a news anchor, right? A lot of times when they want something to happen, they'll leak information to the news so it can push out a narrative and it forces the government or the elected officials or whatever you want to say to switch their plans because of now the actual plan has been leaked. So now you can use it. So now you get to use the plan you really wanted to do. This again is still a form of like I guess corporate espionage. I don't know the term to call it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're purposely leaking documents so that you can get something done in the way you want. Me personally, I think that's what they did. I don't think that they were that negligent. I think that there was a disagreement on what to do, so someone leaked or accidentally put Jeff Goldberg in the chat so he could see it and then record it, and then that plan gets scrapped. Now they got to go to another plan, or it's just misdirection. They're gonna bomb the shit out of the movies, and they didn't want to. They didn't want the plan to come out too soon because they know they got holes in their administration. It go either way. It go either way. I really hope this wasn't playing the whole time I was talking. That would be so horrible. But this is a wasted press article, guys. This isn't good. That's a distraction. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. It was not one of the best shows. We had a lot of malfunctions. We had a lot of things going on. I'm sorry that happened. That's not what I was expecting to happen. So if I'm gonna review this video and it may get scrapped. We'll see how it goes. But sorry about the miscues, right? But I hope you guys understand that what's going on out here is more than just press, fake news, misinformation, or propaganda. There's some soft disclosures coming out, weather manipulation, the Ark of the Covenant, where's the gold in the gold vault. We've talked about that. Now the White House being that stupid to where they don't know what they're doing. I call BS. All right. I definitely think that was purposely done. I think that's a way to scrap plans and go do something else, leak their information. All right. Before I go, feel free to donate, feel free to follow, like, and all those good things. Hit me up in the chat. I talk back. All right. Follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Telegram, the dailyrabbithole.org. Sorry. It's not a great show today. Vibe was all off. Hope you guys, when you do see this, I hope everything as far as the sound is good. I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna go from there. But I'll see you tonight. You have a good one.